NSFW, people who have surgically transitioned into another 6. What was the most surprising thing you discovered about your new parts? As someone who is mostly through phalloplasty, waiting on testicular and erectile implants, although you have to have a lot of discussions as there are so many options and configurations in what is done isn't done. The biggest surprise was the feeling of peeing with my PP for a while. As the urethra was made from arm skin and it's a weird indescribable feeling. It's like feeling water running along skin. And yet not at the same time. Your body eventually learns to adjust and go, oh, this is urethra now, and you stop feeling it in the same way. I've only had top surgery, but there's still numb parts on my chest on the incisions even a year after. Also, I opted not to get nipple grafts, but I still have like phantom lip sensations. With HRT, FDM, your lower department starts to grow. I knew that, but didn't know it would go so fast. So one day I was in the shower, looked down, and actually genuinely startled. What's G had between my legs? ? I got used to it fast though. I rather like it now. With top surgery I clearly remember looking in the bathroom mirror and noticing how different my build looked without the boobage. Somehow my shoulders seemed broader. Not me, but my GF. It was a long and sometimes scary transition with bottom surgery. But she is so happy now. It's like night and day. I've never been bothered by what equipment my partner packs. So I was a little leery about surgery when she said she was going to go through with it. It seemed like a big risk that at the time I felt like may not be worth it. After all, I thought she was beautiful in every inch of her body. But her bottom dysphoria was so bad. And I only now realize just how terrible it was for her post-surgery. She's so happy. So happy. She seems more alive and herself than ever before. I love her dearly and I'm so glad she can live as herself. Surgery isn't necessary for everyone. And that's fine. But for those who have bad dysphoria it is absolutely life-changing. And this is coming from someone on the outside. I had hanky-panky reassignment surgery, vaginoplasty, 3 years ago, and there was a lot I was surprised about. On a positive note, I was surprised about how great it feels. I knew I really wanted surgery, but part of me was afraid I would regret it. As a trans person you get a lot of people telling you surgery is mutilation and that it will ruin your life. But I have been so much happier with my body ever since. It's really improved my confidence a lot and it has made hanky-panky much better and less upsetting. On a grosser note, queefing. I had never heard about it, and the first time it happened to me I had no idea what it was. 3 years post-op MTF here. Orgasms are far more intense. Nipples are stupid sensitive as well. Overall I'm pretty chuffed. A friend is FDM transgender. He communicated not surprise, but relief. After he didn't have to have periods anymore. But non-HRT but no surgery. I knew I'd experience clitoral growth from testosterone into a more PP reminiscent growth. Yet did not know this included foreskin. Trans men pull back the skin and clean well. I have a friend who transitioned and who had masculinizing top surgery. He was absolutely thrilled with the fact that he no longer had to bind in order to have the body he wanted. Which was apparently an enormous drain on his mood and general appreciation for his body as it was. And B, amazed at just how much lighter his chest felt now that he was no longer lugging 2 big ol' lumps of fat around with him everywhere. Once he'd recovered, he said that even just standing up or walking around, let alone running, was enough to leave him with a smile on his face. Because it felt so different. To my knowledge, he was absolutely unconcerned with bottom surgery. But the top surgery made him feel much more like himself. We collectively attach so much importance to breasts that it was, for him, at least, a major cause of distress that made it much more difficult to see himself as he felt he was. Or should be. As soon as they were gone, he felt much more like himself. The decision was already pretty easy. But it was made significantly easier by the fact that he had a strong family history of breast cancer. So a double mastectomy may very well have been on the cards for him at some point in the future anyway. I've posted about this before. But I'm over 7 years post-op. I was surprised how wet I can get. And what that felt like. Otherwise. It was surprising what it's like to live in a body that is congruent with my mind and not hate every second of my flesh prison. It is really freaking nice to get to just be alive. What's really surprising having hanky panky on LSD? I wanted it to be spiritual. Or psychologically reconciling. It was so weird. The whole of this person is like inside me, what the frick. As a man, if you were my friend, I'd let you feel my arms if you asked. Not a surgery, but my partner is on HRT and it really is surprising how much worse men smell. It's a lot more heavy and sharp and really sour. They say money can't buy a penis, but my transition surgery disagrees. I've heard from a friend that the most surprising thing was that they didn't need to wipe down there. This wasn't surgery. But after I started taking testosterone, the consistency of my saliva changed. You know that scene in Mulan where she spits and it like just hangs off her lip before HRT? That used to happen whenever I tried. But now I can spit properly. Nobody prepared me for this, but I was very pleasantly surprised once I realized. Obligatory trans but can't afford surgery yet. That poop costs more than a house. Top plus bottom surgery combined. That's not counting the surgeries I have to undergo before getting bottom surgery. Like a hysterectomy. I've done research on PPs. Asked cis friends about them. And I know for a fact the most surprising thing is going to be something akin to not having to wipe after I piss. You'll really just shake it. Wash your hands. And go. It's going to be something to get used to after not doing that my whole life. I won't be able to experience morning wood or awkward boners. The technology isn't that advanced. Best we got is basically an inflatable pump that's inside our phallus and balls. So I won't get any surprises like that. Edit. Holy poop, this blow up. Turning off not ifs. Shout out to that one anonymous person who reported this comment as suicide concern. I actually haven't thought about doing that in the 4 years I've known my wife. Please report only actual reasons. Not you're trans so you're suicidal. I suspect you're also the bigot that came into my inbox. But Reddit keeps who sent concerns privately. Thanks everyone for the tips and cake day wishes. So IDK if this has been said before. And I haven't gotten it yet. But trans men's PPs can get hard. I didn't know that. This isn't even my final form. I am trans and got a vaginectomy, phalloplasty, and scrotoplasty, removal and closure of vagina, addition of PP and balls. This was years into my transition, after other surgeries and tons of research. So I had a really good idea of what to expect. I love my genitals now and have erotic sensation in my PP base to tip. The thing that surprised me most has been how much I love my balls. The erotic sensation throughout them. And the euphoria they bring me. Maybe not as cool as my penis. But a close second. JSYK. This is a highly invasive question that most trans people won't answer. I haven't had the surgery yet. But I just want to slip in a little fun fact. When you're on estrogen, your PP will become super soft and will start acting more like a vagina. Like smell and more lube fluid coming out of it. Feels great than what it used to be. I cannot speak for every trans woman. But this is my experience. Oh. What a tiny pill can do to the body. I love it. I've been a guy since birth and wouldn't have it any other way. These comments actually helped me figure out how far the technology for transitions to the opposite hanky panky have come. Very cool, and some of the comments are kinda wholesome. Edit. WTF. Why? When? How are there so many upvotes? Edit 2. No. Stop. Let my comment die. Edit 3. PLZ. Stop. Edit 4. Bruh. I'm a transgender woman who has had bottom surgery. It was performed at the Cleveland Clinic, which is super fancy and nice. As soon as I woke up, the most amazing feeling was that I was smooth down there. I'm luckier than most trans women because my body responded well to hormones and I've got some curves. 10 inches difference between my waist and hips. But on my body, my previous parts look so weird and gross. Now everything has been neatly tucked inside and put in the right place, as I was meant to be. It's just an overwhelming sense of relief and happiness. Science is so amazing. Unfortunately my skin has lost almost all feeling in the area. Though I still feel like deeply, if that makes sense. I can't feel the outside too well, but I feel it when I have sex. Amazing. And to answer this question at a basic level, I would note that peeing is so different. It's been a few years and I've almost forgotten what it was like to pee before. I always hated the offensively loud way that men pee. Now the pressure is different. I guess I know why women have always said we need to tinkle. Oh. FTMs, do your balls hurt when they're kicked? The first thing I said to my mom when I woke up after top surgery was, well, that's a big weight off my chest. Dad jokes for the win. My posture is so much better now too.
Hi there. Look, if you enjoyed the video, well, why not go ahead and hit that like and subscribe to Reddit Stories. In fact, if you want to see even more responses to this thread, well then, take a look. There's the link in the description below. And remember, show some love to those authors while you're there. And I look forward to seeing you next time.